It's Junior's a first in that he's a complete lead character that's on screen for a good 2/3 of the movie. With this format, Aang loves really long takes, so you have a digital human. It's completely digital, not a film process that we manipulate afterwards. And he's got to hold up for these long 2-minute takes, and you never forget or never think that you're not watching a real person.
The thing I think that to say it a different way, the thing I think that really creates the what we're trying to achieve here was that we've done digital humans before in films. We've done lots of digital humans for stunt work. We've even started to do digital humans performing roles in films. But this is, to me, the first time that a digital human has created such a unique and passionate performance. And a lot of that comes off the back of Will Smith himself, who gave us that amazing performance on frame. So this is a chance to see a completely digital human giving a completely compelling performance.
What you see is Will Smith wears motion capture gear. He's got cameras on his face. He's got dots on his body, and we're capturing every nuance of his movement, and that's being applied to a completely digital version of himself. But there's no magic button. There's nothing that we do that says make you look and act younger. That's got to come from him. He's acting the naivete that you feel in Junior. That's all Will Smith coming out, and anything we did technically was all in service of what he delivered on set.
It's a bit of a convoluted process in shooting it, though, because we start with the worst case scenario and then work our way back from there. And in this case, the worst case scenario is two Wills on frame at the same time. So we did what we called the A/B capture, where we shoot the live action shot with Will Smith playing Henry Brogan, and then Victor Hugo, an acting partner, playing the role of Junior, so that Will had somebody to interact with. Will had somebody to deliver lines to, hear lines back from, and he could strike for the best performance possible. And then in mocap, we switched the two roles around, BA at that point, so that Will Smith is now playing the Junior role and Victor is playing the Henry role, so that then he can hear his own voice being played back over the speakers, that he can deliver lines, but still have somebody that's emoting back to him so that he can give a performance. That worked really well. Will was able to just give us some fantastic performances with that.
It's one thing to make it photorealistic. It's another to make it human. It's also another to make it Will Smith. This is every very recognizable person. So any minute flaw in our execution would be readily available. You'd say, "Oh, that's a real person," but it looks like Will's third cousin. It's got to look like him. Ang is a courageous filmmaker. He embraces technology almost to a fault. Loves pushing the envelope, and he loves working with visual effects teams in particular. What's awesome, and the second film I've done with Ang, is that he loves to he recognizes that we have something to bring to the table artistically, and he gives us that freedom. He's not going to go in and just say, I want this to be 2 points more red, and he'll say, I want the clouds to be more melancholy, and it's up for us to interpret what that means and deliver it for set. A lot of his direction for Junior was not technical. It was just how is the emotion, how is it feeling to us, and it was up to the talented animators at Weta to go back to extract anything more out of Will's performance to make it resonate to him properly.
Did you have something you wanted to
I was just going to say, Aang is a fantastic person to work with. He's a generous human being, in that he just he engages everybody in the process, and he makes everybody want to do more. He's also, as Bill said, very courageous and very, very technical. He's not afraid of any challenges. He's willing to dive headfirst into something, and then build the team up and bring that whole team with him. In that regard, it was absolutely.
We love that because if it's not a little bit terrifying at the start, it's not really worth doing.